The people of West Africa are fighting an opioid crisis.
The task force is here to arrest one of the drug dealers.
Thousands of lives ruined by powerful and illegal pills, packaged as medicines, but sold on the streets. We set out to track the opioid route.
Tramadol.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal.
And it leads back to my home country. Where do they come from?
India.
No one has ever exposed the pharmaceutical executives behind this deadly trade.
Yes.
5 million tablets.
So which companies are making and shipping these pills? Do they know they're driving a public health crisis? And who are the men making a killing at the expense of innocent people's lives?
This is very harmful for the health. I think this is wickedness.
BBC Eye Investigations goes undercover to expose India's opioid kings.
But now let me see evidence.
My name is Surabhi Tandon, and I'm an investigative reporter from India. I've come to Kano in northern Nigeria to see the scale of Africa's opioid crisis. Local drug rehab worker Abu Bakr Metumaki has agreed to show me how opioids are ruining lives in his city, often the lives of children.
It's a time bomb, you know? Children, they can steal in the market. They can do anything to make money, to get drugs, you know?
A lot of kids and teenagers are abusing substances in the open. They just get on any opioid that they can easily obtain.
This children is a problem of poverty, lack of parental care. These children, they have to be in school. 8 years, 9 years, 10, 15, and now they are in the street.
Would you say that this problem is increasing?
The problem of children addicted to drugs is increasing because it doesn't have cure.
It's difficult to see such young kids taking opioids. But next, Abu Bakr wants to show me the damage these pills can do to long-term users. The following morning, we head to the addiction center where Abu Bakr volunteers, just outside the city. On the way, he explains that Nigeria's opioid crisis emerged more than a decade ago, when medicinal painkillers like tramadol started being taken as recreational drugs. The name tramadol is now used as a catch-all to describe a whole range of opioids that are used as street drugs. Nigeria is the biggest market for these pills in Africa. The majority of patients here are being treated for opioid addiction.
Most of them are victims of opium, tramadol.
It's estimated that over 4 million people in Nigeria are misusing some form of opioid, including tramadol. Some take it simply for the high, but many take it as a painkiller or to help them get through hard physical work.
Here, most of them are farmers. They don't have a lot of money to buy equipment, you know, so they rather use manpower, that they rather use such drugs, you know, for them to overwork themselves. Before they know, they become addicted.
Abuse of tramadol can cause nausea and vomiting, breathing problems, and seizures.
So I'm going to show you the facilities we have here. This is a toilet, as you can see. There is no running water, there is no door, you know. This is a rooms. There is no bed, no light, no curtain, no any mosquito, whatever, you know. And there is no any facilities, as you can see. This is where they slept, you know.
As patients go into withdrawal, their craving for opioids intensifies. Without door locks or proper security, the staff resorts to extreme measures to prevent their patients from leaving to find drugs. Why are they chained?
The reason why we chain them is because they can run away, you know.
Do they still try to escape?
Even if we lock, they can try to escape, but that's why we chain them.
Why doesn't the government give more support to centers like this?
You know, there's a lot of challenges in the state, you know. So most of the focus is not about the victims of drugs. I almost cry, Allah. I'm just, you know, hold it, you know, yeah. Just hold this as a man. I almost cry, you know? Yeah.
Abu Bakr showed me just one rehab center in one city. But opioid users are suffering like this all over Nigeria. In 2018, the government banned the sale of tramadol without prescription and cracked down on the import of illegal opioids. 7 years later, how are these drugs still getting into the country? I'm on my way to the Nigerian Drugs Enforcement Agency, known as the NDLEA. Driving to their headquarters, we go through one of their checkpoints. These patrols have become a common sight on the streets of Lagos.
What we have done is to ratchet up the supply reduction through offensive action. We go out and seize all opioids wherever they are found, make the arrests of the perpetrators from the bottom level to the cartel heads, send them to jail and seize their assets. So it's a continuous effort.
The NDLEA told us that in 2023, they seized opioids worth more than $100 million US. Much of it is kept in this secure warehouse. In Nigeria, the legal maximum dose of tramadol for medical use is 100 milligrams. But many of these packets contain much stronger pills.
This here, all this is a 225 tramadol.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal.
The manufacturers state clearly on the packaging that these tablets contain more than double the legal dose.
This one is 100 milligrams. So actually the trick they use is they'll put this at the front. Then when you're examining the container, you see this as the illegal substance.
Yeah.
While at the back, you find the illegal 225 milligrams.
It's the illegal strength of these products that is their selling point.
You see how deep it is? You see the length?
Yeah.
All up to the end there is tramadol. These are 442 cartons of tramadol of an ongoing case at the moment.
The drug importers constantly change the brand names, the packaging, and even the chemical formula to try and outwit the NDLEA.
Some of the packaging are very appetizing. It shows you apple or something, and it is easily concealed and sold as a normal drug.
People just look at the apples and royal and they think this is tramadol, opioid.
Yes, yes.
Since Nigeria cracked down on opioid imports, more and more of these drugs are being smuggled across the border from neighboring countries.
These shipments came in through Ghana, through the borders. They have been tracking him for 5 months.
Would you say that the route between Ghana and Nigeria is becoming more popular in the last year or so?
Definitely, it is.
And these kind of opioid products, would you call the people who are manufacturing these legitimate pharmaceutical companies or kind of like narcos?
Definitely, I'll call it what it is. We're having a problem coming in from another country. It has become a big menace in Nigeria.
And which country is that?
India.
No. In Nigeria, I'd seen the damage caused by high-dose opioids packaged as legitimate medicines and sold illegally on the streets. Now, back home in India, my task is to find out who is making them. India's flourishing pharmaceutical industry is a good place to start. I'm heading to a trade fair where Indian pharma companies market their products to customers from all over the world. In the last few decades, India has become a global force in the pharmaceutical industry. Indian pharma companies often produce cheap, generic versions of medicines that have fallen out of patent. These medicines have saved millions of lives and earned India the nickname, the pharmacy of the world.
Generic, we are number one. To lead the world, we are really having a lot of entrepreneurs. They are looking to expand their businesses in pharma. And there are a lot of big players, they are working in this industry. That's why we can serve the world.
There is a large African delegation here. Africa is a crucial market for Indian pharmaceutical companies, accounting for almost a fifth of their exports. How did India become such a natural partner for West Africa?
It's always countries that you know that they've done business in the past. Regulatory authorities have also done a lot, and they've made sure that goods that are being exported into our country are of good standard and of good quality.
The Indian pharmaceutical industry is now the envy of the world. Its exports alone have been valued at nearly $28 billion a year. They've almost doubled in the last decade. But could this rapid growth provide a hiding place for bad actors producing illegitimate drugs? I'd been told that opioids were being smuggled across the border into Nigeria from Ghana. So I made contact with journalist Yaya Masuhudu. He's based in Tamale in northern Ghana, a city that's been hit hard by a recent rise in opioid use.
I was born and bred in Tamale. I've spent almost all my life in Tamale. These drugs are destroying families, destroying young men and women with potential who otherwise would have been able to help in developing this country. The local chief is so concerned that he's given the go-ahead for a citizens' task force. Its aim is to find opioids on the streets and track down the dealers.
I'm Zike, and this is Chairman Tamale, Operation Leader.
Zike is a local radio presenter and a leader of the task force.
It's made up of. Our intelligence doesn't come in a one particular mode. Sometimes based on tip-off, sometimes based on the inhabitants of that particular village, sometimes a parent of the addicted children. They will give us the information. It will lead us to where they are selling it.
Also leading today's raid is Bikoko. He runs a bakery in the center of Tamale.
The Food and Drugs Board, they are the supposed authority to fight on it. And they are not. So what do? We have to try all our best as a community to see the best we can do. That is what we are doing. We are aware those addicted to it, they are our brothers. We need to rescue them.
We are getting close to the location. They'll be raiding the place to see if they can get some of the drugs. Today's tip-off has led the task force to one of the ghettos, the poorest neighborhoods in Tamale.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. What is happening right now is the task force is here to arrest the drug dealers.
It's those off.
It's an addict who has taken the drugs.
This place is being invaded by the drug peddlers. Both the dealers, the takers, everybody is here. So that's why we are here this afternoon, to see their source of where they are getting the drugs.
When you wrap it this way, I don't know anything. He just came and said that he's coming. Ask this guy. I'm just sitting with him. I swear I don't deal drugs.
This is what they found here with just one raid. Yeah. This is what happens almost on a daily basis with the task force.
Yeah.
The task force detains several men who are found with opioids on them.
So, annually, I found a kanja de pool. Ula karasonga. Was okay. I found it.
No vale, maybe Niger, no vale hack up Niger, your patient, no vale, you live, Jabla.
Tumba.
The task force takes the suspected dealers back to the chief's palace to continue the interrogation. The main idea behind the interrogation is to get to find out who the suppliers are The chief adjudicates the matter and someone is found guilty, the person is fined some amount of money.
After everything, we're going to ask this guy, the yellow guy, a question because the quantity of the drug it was holding is much. There's a little bit massage, you know, before you tell me the truth. You know exactly this medicine. So who will be your supplier? You don't know the supplier? You see how you disgrace yourself to this low? Look at kids are watching you. So you want to destroy people's children. Do you have a wife? Do you have a wife? How many children? You are lucky today. Today is my good day. You are lucky. Don't call me Mr. Jamal. You are proving me what?
The man in yellow is just a small-time local dealer. But who is at the top of this chain? Who is making these tablets and shipping them by the millions into Africa? This is what the task force seized. This packet is all we've got to go on, but it does offer a few clues.
Hi, it's Ravi.
Hi, Aya. Good to see you.
Did you get the photos I sent you from the raid the task force did the other day?
Yeah, I have them pulled up on my computer now.
The product is called Tafrodol. The Ghanaian FDA have confirmed to me the product is illegal in Ghana. It's made of two substances. One is called tapentadol. The other is carisoprodol.
Then I can also see that it says made in India. And if I zoom into the corner, there's a logo with an A and a leaf.
It's important to look into that and to find out who is responsible for bringing the product into West Africa. The task force is trying to catch the traders and smugglers, but it's the source that needs to be stopped.
So let me start there and I'll get back to you when I have more information. So what exactly is Tafrodol? The packet says it's made of two ingredients. Tapentadol, an opioid like tramadol, but twice as potent. Mixed with carisoprodol, a muscle relaxant so strong, it's banned in many parts of the world. This cocktail appeared on the streets of West Africa soon after the Nigerians banned the general sale of tramadol. So is this new formula a way to get around the new laws? And is it even safe to mix these two drugs into a single pill? I've come to see Dr. Lekant Shukla. He's seen firsthand the devastating effects opioids can have.
These are one of the most dangerous drugs around, where overdose, the first injection could turn to be a fatal injection.
Could you please tell us a little bit about this combination of tapentadol and carisoprodol and what effect it might have on the human body?
So this is not something that's licensed to be used in our country as yet, because what it's going to do is you are giving the effects of opioid, and one of the effects of opioid is getting very deep sleep. It could be deep enough that people don't breathe, and that leads to drug overdose. And along with that, you are also giving another agent, carisoprodol, which also gives a very deep sleep and relaxation, opioid-like effects. So I'd say it sounds like a very dangerous combination.
Does the combination of the two molecules in Tafrodol make it more susceptible to addiction?
It definitely does. It definitely does. When somebody takes opioids and also takes a sleeping pills or muscle relaxants, they will get a stronger high if they were taking it to get a high. They are more likely to, get addicted faster, develop more severe withdrawal symptoms when they try to come off it. It's a fairly painful experience to go through.
Do you know of any clinical drug trials or medical studies that have talked about the efficacy of this combination?
Not that I came across. I cannot understand why one would make this. It does not sound like a rational combination.
What might be the logic of sending high dosages of tapentadol to countries like Nigeria and Ghana?
I cannot fathom.
It appears that the manufacturer of this dangerous drug cocktail is packaging it to look legitimate. But who is manufacturing it? The photos Yaya had sent me showed a product called Tafrodol. When I put Tafrodol into a search engine, the top results shows that the brand name Tafrodol is registered to a company called Aveo Pharmaceuticals. When I look for Aveo Pharmaceuticals, their official website shows up, which actually details their products and manufacturing practices. It looks like a legitimate company, but it's the logo that really catches my attention. This A with a leaf, this is the same logo that Yaya found on the packets of Tafrodol in the ghettos of Tamale. I wanted to cast a wider net researching Tafrodol and see where else the products might show up. I found that teenagers in Côte d'Ivoire are mixing Tafrodol with an alcoholic drink called Vodi. And there it is, the same logo. Aveo Pharmaceuticals. It's not just Côte d'Ivoire. Even in Ghana, I found reports of Tafrodol being seized by the police. When I zoom in, there is an A which looks like the A from Aveo. In the same seizure is another product, Tima King. In the corner of that box, the same logo, Aveo Pharmaceuticals. We also send out researchers in Nigeria to see if they could find products with the Aveo logo on them. And sure enough, they came back to us with Tafrodol XX, which has the same composition, and on the packet, the same logo. Tafrodol caps in Côte d'Ivoire, Tima King in Ghana, Tafrodol XX in Nigeria. All products containing the same cocktail, all products found on the streets of these countries seized by the police for illicit use. And from what I can tell from the evidence that I found, they all seem to be made by the same company, Aveo Pharmaceuticals. Aveo's website says the company is run by 3 men, probably all relatives, since they all have the same surname, Sharma. But the guy who manages the factory is Vinod Sharma. We want to find out whether Aveo's top management are aware of the devastating impact their product is having in West Africa. An undercover operative agreed to go inside the factory, posing as a businessman looking to supply opioids to Nigeria. Aveo agrees to a meeting. It's a 2-hour drive to their factory on the outskirts of Mumbai.
On the day of the meeting, there were 3 of us who went in. on, gentlemen. Come on. And myself, a partner of mine who brokered the meeting, is Indian. And the third person is the bodyguard that traveled with me. Hello, ladies. We're here to see Mr. Sharma. Thank you.
The director of Aveo, Vinod Sharma, greets our team personally to discuss the deal.
Okay. So, yes, so nice to see you. Can I present you and his assistant? And his assistant.
Before getting down to business, Sharma takes them on a tour of the factory.
Sealed. Very state of the art. So anything you bring here?
Yeah, mixing there.
Wow, first impressions. He came across like a shrewd businessman.
Mixing here and drying here.
He actually showed us that the factory is certified by the World Health Organization. That cemented the impression of the world-class standard that the factory presented to us when we visited. So what is this brand?
Super oil.
Super oil.
Super oil 225.
225. Okay. This is for the Tafredon.
Yeah, this is a tougher.
Cotton. Super oil. And that's this is all.
Yes.
Wow. You guys are doing really massive operation.
5 million tablets.
You know, it's amazing. India has everything. Every raw material is all India. There's a big farm.
Back at Sharma's office, it's time to talk business.
Thank you.
This is sample. Pattern, capsule, tablet, everything is. This is brand name.
Brilliant.
This is a Profado
Yeah.
capsule.
So this is
Profado capsule.
combination of
Demand is very high nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
The grammage is high. So it's a combination of Tapentadol and Carisbrol.
The packet of Tafredol is instantly recognizable. It's exactly the same brand that the task force in Ghana is seizing off the streets. It's the same brand intercepted by Ghanaian police. It's the same brand the kids in Côte d'Ivoire mix with alcohol to improve the high.
Your company, brilliant. This is our brand. Yeah.
This is brand name.
Vinod Sharma produces a range of products, all containing the same dangerous drug combination.
T20 was stronger than China.
This is Super Oil. It looks just like the Aveo product our journalists found for sale on the streets of Lagos. This is King, the same product seized by the Ghanaian police in early 2024. Vinod Sharma also showed us many more opioids that look remarkably similar to products found by the authorities across West Africa.
Tamale.
Yes. This is also active material is the same.
So only but different packaging.
Brand is different.
So let me confirm. This Tapentadol is 225.
Yeah, this is a high power.
This one is 250 milligrams. So
Means active material is 250.
250.
Yeah. This is very powerful. Capsule tablet is very powerful compared to the capsule. Rate is very different. Double rate. Double power.
This is a double power.
Double power, double rate. This is a
Told me about how they came up with the opioids that they make, the combination of the Carisbrol and Tapentadol as a reaction to government crackdown on tramadol, which they used to also make. They also had a clear understanding of the global shipping business, the logistics of the operation.
By air is not possible nowadays because government is looking very strictly. And you can supply by the sea, but another port, not Lagos, another Ghana and other. And otherwise, police can arrest, capture the container.
Clearly, he knew that what he was producing was illegal. He knew that what he was doing was wrong, but the fact that he was willing to talk about producing the opioids for me, and branding the opioids for me, and shipping the opioids, to West Africa for me. All of that spoke to a businessman who was willing to take a lot of risk.
I can clear from our custom, means India. You can clear from your side. Every client working like this.
These are all your products.
Yeah.
You make all of this.
Yeah, you are making here.
So we have come to the right place. Correct. We have come to the person who actually holds the idea and invented. Wow.
Yeah.
So he explained that Avio's research and development unit came up with this, dangerously brilliant idea of combining carisoprodol and tapentadol.
We have more than 50 staff here. Yeah. They are the team who research, like this scientist discovery, which product is means suppose this is settled, this is settled. Scientists can mix with each other and make a new product.
See what you do.
Yeah.
Now, Sharma gets to the nub of the deal.
Do you have local market in the Nigeria? We can supply these materials.
So we do. And our plan is to sell to young people. Okay. 16, 17-year-olds, we find out they all love the product, right? And like you said earlier on, the product, Tafodol, has really replaced Tramadol in the market.
This item is Tafodol is a painkiller. But suppose you can use the 2 or 3 tablets in the one time, you can like this relax.
Yeah, this is what the kids like. That's what they like. Gives them that high.
High.
High means high.
You are manufacturing for the health, fitness, but they are misuse of the
But they are using it for something else.
This is very harmful for the health. But
very harmful.
But customer cannot understand that. He wants relax.
He wants to relax. Yeah.
Any medicine can misuse. This is very harmful for the body. But nowadays this is a business.
Business. It's business, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course.
Like this.
Of course. What was going on my mind when Vinod Sharma admitted what he was doing? Nigerian journalists have been reporting on this opioid crisis for more than 20 years. Finally, I was face to face, not with some local dealer or transnational smuggler, but actually one of the men at the root of Africa's opioid crisis.
Capturing market, slowly.
Okay. One of the men who actually makes this opioid and ships it into our countries by the container load.
Look like.
One of the men who is profiting by hurting our people. He knew the harm he was doing, but he didn't seem to care. It's depressing watching someone who produces these opioids speaking about it and describing it simply as business.
In India, any drug made only for export must comply with the requirements of the importing country. But Aveo sends Tafrodol to Ghana, where it's illegal. Ghana's drug authorities confirmed to us that there is no way this product could ever meet their import requirements. By shipping Tafrodol to Ghana, Aveo is breaking Indian law. But they are also working in a system which is failing to enforce the rules. Indian authorities, we're told, pay little attention to pharmaceutical drugs not sold in India.
The checks and balances on the imports are far more stringent than for exports. And that is one of the areas which I feel that should be regulated more so that misuse of export and misuse of these channels is not there as far as pharmaceutical drugs are concerned, which can be abused.
Thank you very much for your time. I didn't do that. Nice meeting you.
The amount of money made out of such activities and the confidence they have got that they will get away with that is what creates these type of clandestine work.
I sent the secretly recorded footage to Yaya.
Any medicine can be huge. This is very harmful for the
I think it's criminal.
But nowadays this is business.
Business. It's business, yeah. It's business.
Knowing that these things are dangerous to the health of people, but you want to put it in the market for people to get access to it, just because you think you can make a lot of money from it. I think this is wickedness.
Now we've exposed a Tafradol manufacturer in India. We had to find out how these drugs are getting into Ghana. We are close. We found evidence that a company in the capital, Accra, has imported millions of these pills.
Oh, this is it. You can see Semos Pharma written.
This is a company which, according to customs data we found, is importing harmful opioid-based pills into Ghana by the million.
I'm not very sure that these guys are going to be friendly and whether they will allow us to film.
This is the evidence that led us to Semos Pharma. Export data showing Semos listed as the buyer of tens of millions of unlicensed opioid pills with brand names like Tafradol and Timakin. This document, for example, shows a shipment of Tafradol, the same pills the task force are finding on the streets of Tamale. It was sent to Semos by Aveo Pharmaceuticals in Mumbai. Another document shows Semos receiving a shipment of a similar product, Timakin, worth over $126,000 from an Indian company called Westfin International. Looking into Westfin, we found the board of directors. And among them, a familiar name, Vinod Sharma. We have seen evidence of dozens of similar consignments worth many millions of dollars. According to one export data website, Aveo Pharmaceuticals is the leading supplier of tapentadol in the world. And third on the list, Westfin International. What we still don't know is how they are getting the illegal pills through Ghanaian customs. I arranged to meet the head of the Food and Drugs Authority for the northern region of Ghana at their headquarters in Tamale to see if he could tell me.
We have information that some of these products manufactured in India are imported into the country, and some pharmaceutical companies may be involved in the sale. Do you have such information?
There's no chance. Because the system now is no registration, no importation. If we are talking about established ports or points of entry, it's not likely that we will have unregistered products coming through such points of entry. But we cannot discount any such information that comes to our attention because we have a system where the perpetrators of crime will always find a way to override the system.
Okay. In Tamale, it's left for groups like the Citizens Task Force to tackle the opioid crisis. They've had a tip-off that a dealer is operating from a house in the suburbs.
We are getting close to the location. This is the place.
No, 4 boxes, man. I mean 2 boxes. No, 3.5. 3.5 boxes.
More of Vinod Sharma's Tafrodol. It's a constant battle to get it off the streets.
Come on, we can't know tax force no more. I'm quite tempted to buy him.
That evening, the task force gathers in a local park to burn the drugs they've seized over the past few weeks.
We are burning it in the open glare for everybody to see. So it sends a signal to the sellers and the suppliers. If they get you, they'll burn your drugs. Then that means this particular business is not a good business for one to engage in.
The people in my town are doing what they can to help the opioid users by taking the drugs off the streets. But our investigation has shown that the company making these opioids is supplying the whole of West Africa. This fire has destroyed just a few packets of Tafrodol. But in India, the production lines are making these pills faster than we can burn them.